August looks like the finish line for summer, but for most lawns, it's actually where things quietly start falling apart. Weeks of heat, drought, and mowing have already worn the grass down, and right now it's running on reserves, not strength. One wrong move this month and you won't see the damage today. You'll see it in September, as thin patches, weak color, and grass that never fully bounces back. Here's something most homeowners never think about. The lawns that recover the fastest in fall aren't the ones that get treated the most in August. They're the ones where one specific habit gets started early, while the damage is still invisible. Stick around, because at the end I'll show you exactly what that habit is, and why skipping it is the reason so many lawns limp into fall instead of bouncing back. Let's start with the mistake almost everyone makes without realizing it: cutting the grass short. It feels satisfying. It looks clean for a day or two, but short grass in August works against the plant's own biology. Grass blades are where photosynthesis happens, so a shorter blade means less surface area to produce the energy the plant needs to survive summer stress in the first place. At the same time, cutting the canopy low exposes bare soil directly to sunlight. Soil temperature at that depth can climb well above the air temperature around it, sometimes dramatically higher. Roots sitting in that heat dry out fast, and the plant shifts into pure survival mode, which means less energy left over for anything else, including recovering root damage. Weeds notice this shift before you do. Bare, hot soil is exactly the environment weed seeds are waiting for. Within about 2 weeks, thin patches start showing up in the exact spots you scalped the hardest. The fix costs nothing. Raise your mower deck to somewhere between 3 and 4 inches. Taller grass shades the soil, holds in moisture, and keeps the root zone several degrees cooler, almost like a living mulch layer. One rule matters more than any other here: never remove more than 1/3 of the blade length in a single cut. If your lawn has grown taller than usual, bring it down gradually over 2 mowing sessions instead of one aggressive pass that shocks the plant. Now, here's a fact that surprises a lot of people. A lawn watered every single day is often worse off than one watered twice a week. Frequent light watering only wets the very top layer of soil, and grass roots are opportunists. They grow wherever moisture already is. So if water only ever reaches the first inch or two, that's exactly where the root system stays, shallow and exposed. The moment a hot, dry stretch hits, those shallow roots are the first to suffer because there's nothing deeper for them to draw on. What your lawn actually needs is a deep soak, once or twice a week, that pushes moisture down 6 to 8 inches into the soil. That depth forces roots to grow downward chasing the water, and deeper roots tap into soil that stays cooler and holds moisture far longer than the surface ever can. Timing changes everything, too. Early morning, somewhere between 5 and 9, is really the only reliable window. Water later in the day and evaporation steals a meaningful share before it ever reaches the roots. Water at night instead, and the grass stays wet for hours, which creates exactly the damp, still conditions that fungal disease depends on to spread. A simple way to check your progress without guessing is pushing a screwdriver into the lawn. If it slides in easily, moisture is still there. If it meets resistance, it's time to water again. One of the biggest points of confusion in August involves fertilizer, and the right answer actually depends on what kind of grass is under your feet. If you're growing a cool season lawn, meaning bluegrass, fescue, or ryegrass types common across the northern half of the country, feeding it heavily right now can backfire. Nitrogen tells the plant to push out fast new leaf tissue, but that kind of rapid growth demands energy and water the plant simply doesn't have to spare while it's already fighting heat stress. The result is often burned tips and weakened blades instead of the deeper green homeowners are hoping for. For these lawns, late August, once temperatures start easing, is usually the better window to start feeding again. Warm season lawns like Bermuda, Zoysia, and St. Augustine tell a different story entirely, since these grasses are still actively growing through August heat. A light, balanced feeding can support that growth instead of fighting against it. Either way, the takeaway is the same. More fertilizer does not automatically mean a greener lawn. Timing matters more than quantity, and getting that timing wrong is one of the quiet reasons stressed lawns stay stressed. Which brings up a bigger question worth asking. If feeding your lawn at the wrong moment can undo weeks of progress, What other everyday habit might be working against you without any obvious warning? Your lawn actually gives you warning signs long before it turns brown, and catching them early can save weeks of recovery time later. Watch for a dull gray or slightly blue tint replacing the usual bright green. That color shift happens because stressed grass blades curl slightly to reduce sun exposure, changing how light reflects off the surface. Walk across the grass and glance back. If your footprints stay pressed into the lawn instead of springing back within seconds, the grass cells have lost enough water pressure that they can't hold their shape anymore, which is an early, reliable sign of dehydration. Folded blades are another clue worth watching for, since curling inward is the plant's own defense mechanism against sun exposure, and it can make a lawn look thinner even though nothing is actually missing yet. Catch any of these signs early, and a proper deep watering often solves the problem within days before real damage sets in. Miss them, and the lawn slides into dormancy, which is survivable. But it's also avoidable if you act while the signs are still subtle instead of waiting for brown patches to confirm what your grass already told you weeks earlier. Now, back to that habit I promised earlier, because this is really the one that decides how your lawn comes out of summer. It's not one single fix. It's the combination of two small habits homeowners consistently skip in August, and both quietly protect the root system heading into fall. First, leave your grass clippings on the lawn instead of bagging them. As they break down, clippings act like a light natural mulch, shading the soil, slowing moisture loss, and slowly releasing nutrients back to the roots as they decompose. It costs nothing, and it directly supports the same root system you've spent this whole video trying to protect. The only exception is when clippings are long and clumped together in thick piles, in which case collect them once or mow again a few days later to break them apart. Second, and this is the part almost nobody talks about, reduce heavy foot traffic on stressed sections of the lawn. Grass under heat stress has far less structural resilience in its crown tissue, so repeated walking or equipment traffic on already weakened turf compacts the soil and can crush crown tissue that the plant needs intact to regrow later. A lawn that gets walked on constantly through a stressed August often takes noticeably longer to recover once cooler weather arrives, even if everything else was done correctly. That's the real answer. The habit that decides your fall recovery isn't a single product or a perfect watering schedule. It's protecting the root and crown system from unnecessary stress all month long, so there's something strong left to build on once temperatures finally drop. Most people think August is the end of summer lawn care. It's actually the beginning of fall recovery. Your lawn won't start recovering when the weather cools. It starts recovering with the decisions you make right now. Everything holding on right now, the roots, the crown tissue, the soil structure, is what fall recovery gets built on. This is the window to start planning aeration, scheduling overseeding, and requesting a soil test from your local extension office, since results usually take a couple of weeks to come back. Documenting thin or bare patches now, while the damage is still visible, means you won't lose track of them once cooler weather causes the lawn to green up and quietly hide the problem again. So to recap the plan, mow taller and never remove more than a third of the blade. Water deep and early instead of light and often. Match your fertilizer timing to your grass type instead of guessing. Watch for the early warning signs before the lawn turns brown. And protect the roots and crown by leaving clippings down and easing up on foot traffic. Do those 5 things, and August stops being the month your lawn barely survives and starts being the month that sets up a real recovery. So here's a simple question worth sitting with. Which of these 5 has your lawn actually been dealing with all summer without you noticing?